Magic is in the air. Anyway, Orlando was one of the teams in the late 80s to get NBA expansion franchises, joined Miami, Charlotte, and Minnesota. Orlando started life as a Magic in 1989, basically becoming a Disney force because, Orlando's home of the Magic Kingdom and a lot of theme parks like Universal, Disney, and of course Epcot, which the Simpsons don't like saying that. Oh, flying over it is even boring, Remember, they said it, I didn't. But anyway, Orlando slowly got their basketball style. But in 1992, the Orlando Magic got lucky when they got the #1 pick in the NBA lottery. And the big prize prospect is Shaquille O'Neal for Orlando. Shaq, unfortunately, cost his Magic a playoff spot by sitting on a one-game suspension for a fight he did on April Fool's Day, 1993. That actually ruined Orlando. They could have had a playoff tiebreak for that 8th spot and gone to the playoffs. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen. So the Orlando Magic don't make it in 93. But do you know what was weird? They had one ping pong ball in that whole hopper, and it landed at #1. And Bob Costas famously said when the draft lottery was broadcast on NBC, "Unbelievable. This belongs in Go Figure. One ping pong ball in the whole set." And he got it. And they were one game away from making the playoffs. And then I forget, Pat Williams, the owner, talks to Costas and says, "The way you're going, you should get on a plane to Las Vegas right away." Orlando picked up Penny Hardaway. That's what people will want you to think. Yeah, they had Penny Hardaway, but he wasn't the #1 overall pick. Orlando picked Chris Webber #1. But then they swapped him to Golden State for the rights to Penny Hardaway. Kind of a good move if you consider it. Orlando did get their one of a power. Well, they did have a good power forward in Horace Grant already. And this, of course, is before Horace went to Chicago to play for the Bulls in their second three-peat. So Orlando had some nice pieces. They had Nick Anderson alongside Penny, Shaq, Horace Grant. They had an old Tree Rollins one time. So anyway, Orlando in 95 reached the pinnacle of things. They beat Michael Jordan in a playoff series, something that the last time that happened was in 1990 by the Detroit Pistons. Because Chicago obviously won in 91. Sorry. Yeah, with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did not take part in the 94 championship, Eastern Final against the Knicks, of course, because he was still playing baseball. So anyway, man, Orlando beating the Bulls, that was amazing. That loss was so shocking, MJ decided to change his number from 45 back to 23. He wanted to play like he was 23 again. So anyway, Orlando got to the Eastern Finals. They played the Indiana Pacers in one of the biggest back and forth games of all time. Game 4, when people were making shot after shot, and the Magic thought they had the winning shot with like 2 seconds left. But Rick Smits hit a turnaround shot to win the game for the Pacers. Sadly, though, for Reggie Miller, he didn't get to the finals. That was Orlando. Orlando took on Houston, who was one of the biggest who had one of the biggest shocking playoff runs in 95 because they were the 6th seed and they were playing 50-win teams left, right, and center. They had to take down Phoenix and San Antonio to get to the championships. Orlando had game 1 well in hand. Nick Anderson just had to make some free throws. Easier said than done. He went 0 for 4 free throws. I think Shaq would have hit at least 2 of them. Houston got a 3-pointer from Kenny the Jet Smith to tie the game, send it overtime, and then Hakeem Olajuwon's putback of a missed layup with 3/10 seconds left in game 1 in overtime stunned the Magic. Orlando fell flat as Houston's playoff prowess made them win the series. Not only win the series, but sweep them. Orlando thought they had magical powers. They had Petty, they had Shaq, but unfortunately, the Eagles clashed and Shaq left for Los Angeles in free agency after 96. Orlando would not have a dominant center till Dwight Howard came in 2004. So Orlando tried their best. It didn't really happen. They picked up Tracy McGrady after McGrady left Toronto because he didn't want to be second banana to his cousin Vince Carter. So McGrady was good. T-Mac was good, but Orlando, they couldn't build the Orlando team around him. 2009 would be a lot different with Dwight Howard maturing and players popping out of freaking nowhere. Hedo Turkoglu, I'm looking at you. The Magic got to the NBA Finals against the LA Lakers, but the Lakers proved that their playoff prowess was on display with a 1, 2, 3, 4 game sweep against the Magic. So anyway, Orlando since then has been hit or miss. 2019, they were the first playoff victim of the Raptors championship run, despite the fact that Orlando won game 1. So anyway, let's talk about the 1990 Orlando Magic. That's not because as finalists they're disqualified from this what if. Let's talk about the 2003 Orlando Magic. And you're thinking, 2003? What the fuck are you talking about? Well, the fact is Orlando was an 8 seed and Detroit was a 1 seed in the 2003 Eastern playoffs. And the Magic were up 3-1 and blew it against the Pistons. I mean, I couldn't think of another Orlando team without finalist teams that could fill the void. So that's what I did. So the 2003 Magic were the 8 seed. You got to remember, they didn't reseed. So Philadelphia, who won the 4-5 matchup, would be the next opponent for Orlando. Now, Detroit did not go to the NBA Finals. They lost to New Jersey in the conference finals. San Antonio, by the way, won the NBA title and it's the Western Conference champion. So if Detroit doesn't make it, Orlando doesn't make it to the finals, San Antonio wins the whole scenario. So anyway, that scenario has the number 8 Orlando Magic take on the number 4 Philadelphia 76ers. Still with Allen Iverson, I think less of a person. So we'll see what happens. So the 2003 Magic with Darrell Armstrong, Gordon Giershak, T-Mac, Pat Garrity, and Sean Kemp played the Sixers with Eric Snow, AI, McKee, Van Horn, and Derek Coleman, a pair of former Nets. Ironically, of course, the 2003 Nets went to the finals. The Magic crushed Philadelphia in the first 3 quarters. Thus, they won 103-82. 24 from T-Mac, 14 from Darrell Armstrong. Sean Kemp even threw 8 points in. But their bench, Jacques Vaughn, Andrew DeClercq, Stephen Hunter, Gerald Sasser, Mike Miller, another time in Florida, Ryan Humphrey, Drew Gooden played for that team. Horace Grant played for the 2003 Magic. Wow. Chris Whitney, Oluwaseyi, and no, he's not part of the assignment. Grant Hill played for the 2003 Magic. Wow. And Pat Burke. Wow. Grant Hill. But anyway, Allen Iverson led the Sixers with 19 points, Van Horn with 18. Their bench had Winnipeg-born Todd McCullough, Tyrone Hill, Monty Williams, Greg Buckner, John Solomons, Kenny Thomas, Brian Skinner, Eftimos Ratsios, Art Long, former surfer Cincinnati, Kenny Satterfield, and Mark Bryant, not related to Kobe or Jelly Bean Bryant. Game 2 saw more of the same, but the Sixers won by 6. 36 from T-Mac in 39 minutes. That's pretty good. Bench didn't really help him out, especially DeClercq and Sasser playing 24 combined minutes without a point. Fuck. Okay, Van Horn with 20 points. LAI with 19. Tyrone Hill 10 on the bench. Yeah, great job by the Sixers to make it 1-1. Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry about the problem. But the Magic came home. And won 103-85. Wow. 23 from Iverson, 18 from Van Horn. They dumped the bench. Both teams dumped their bench. 36 from T-Mac. Nobody else had double digits. Joe Sasser at 9. Well, you could tell it was T-Mac's time to shine. In the fourth quarter, well, Orlando won again. They now have a 3-1 lead on the Sixers. Orlando, really? They're 42-40, for God's sake. AI 26. Van Horn 14. T-Mac 28. Sean Kemp with 10 points. Not bad. Mike Miller did okay. So at 3-1, Orlando looks like they're going to win this series. They got to. Well, they did. 102-100. So Orlando's through one round. In the final minutes, it was 95-91 after a Keith Van Horn shot. Grillicek hit a jumper. Then Keith Van Horn made a 97-93. T-Mac made a 97-95. They foul Iverson, who made both free throws. Then T-Mac gets fouled by Van Horn and puts up 2 free throws. AI gets fouled, misses the first, but hits the second. And then T-Mac, with 9 seconds left, scored a 3-ball. Allen Iverson missed the 3-pointer. Sean Kemp has the board. They call timeout. And the Sixers try to snatch the ball away from T-Mac. T-Mac puts it up and scores. Final score, 102-100. Unbelievable. T-Mac, 43 points. Jeez, he didn't even score after all. Grillicek, 14. Sean Kemp, 10. The Sixers, well, 27 from AI, but all too late. T-Mac, the hero. So that means they play the Nets in the 2003 NBA Final. 19. Oh, 2003. Why did I say 19? Anyway, Magic against the Nets. 7 games those two teams were. And Orlando starts off with an overtime win. They came back from 14 down in the fourth quarter to force overtime. Wow. T-Mac 41. Daryl Armstrong 18. Grillicek 17. T-Mac playing 45 minutes, by the way. The Nets had 3 guys playing 40 minutes. Jefferson, Kidd, and Martin. Kmart. Amazingly, Richard Jefferson played 42 minutes without a foul. Sean Kemp fouled out. Pat Garrity almost fouled out. He had 5 personals. So 29 from Kidd and Martin. Jefferson for 27. Kerry Kittles, Jason Collins, the front 5. On the bench was Lucius Harris, Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe was on that team. Wow. Aaron Williams, Ronnie Rogers, Anthony Johnson, and Brian Scalabrine, the best redhead in a long time in the NHL. I mean, the NBA, whatever. Game 2 saw the Magic crush the Nets in the fourth quarter, 43-24. It was actually tied after 3 quarters. 28 from Garrity. Man, T-Mac with 26. And 11 points from Jacques Vaughn. Grant Hill only played 1 minute. The Nets, well, they've had their bench. Tamar Slay, Chris Childs, Donnie Marshall. That can't be Danielle Marshall from UConn, right? Brandon Armstrong. Donnie Marshall. Is that a different guy? They said he was 96 and 97, but 2003, I guess he was some kind of practice player? I don't know. 28 from J Kidd. Lucius Harris, 10 points. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Orlando won game 1 and 2, I think, right? Yeah, Orlando came back to win 2 in overtime. That's right. Game 3 saw the Magic lose by 16 to the Nets, 106-90. 24 from Kmart, 23 from Jefferson, 14 from Kidd. And then the Magic, 27 from T-Mac, 11 from Grillicek, 10 from Sean Kemp. Okay, then. They both emptied their bench. At 2-1, the Nets came back, 101-75, crushing the Magic in the fine powder. 22 from Kmart, 14 from Kidd. Basically, they just had anyone can shoot and score. Donnie Marshall with 2 points. 22 from T-Mac. No one else had double digits. The closest was Pat Garrity with 8. Grant Hill had 3 points in 4 minutes. I'm a dumb kid, okay? So the Nets tie Orlando, coming home. And in the end, the Nets went home, crushed the Magic by 17. T-Mac 21, Grillicek 19. Gerald Sasser. $23 from J Kidd, 14 from Kmart and Collins, and Lucius Harris. Anthony Johnson, 10 points in 12 minutes. Anthony Weiner. 1 more game. And the Nets beat the Magic in 6 games. I thought Orlando was going to go to the finals. I'm like, wow, now they have to play San Antonio and they could get their butts handed to them. But it doesn't matter. The Nets beat the Magic. 23 from Jefferson, 20 from Kidd, 14 from Ronnie Rogers. Ronnie Rogers, I don't think I mentioned him as a substitute. Ronnie Rogers from Wake Forest, 22 from T-Mac, 16 from Veracek. Oladeji. That's funny. Oladeji. So anyway, the Magic school bus ran out of fuel.